If you're trying to set up in-place records management, but your Declare Record button is either dimmed or not available, there are a few things that you can check. Let's take a look at this file, lease agreement. As you can see, this button is dim, and I'll click on Compliance Details, and you can see the item is not a record, and I can't declare or undeclare it as a record. I'll click OK. And let's go to Site Settings. First of all, in-place records declaration has to be set up as a site collection feature. Note that it's a site collection feature and not a site feature. I'll scroll down. In this case, that's not the problem on my site. The feature has been set to active, and I have the Deactivate button. If you weren't seeing the blue Active button and instead saw Activate, you would need to activate the feature. Let's go back to our library and check a couple of other things. I'll go to Library Settings and click Record Declaration Settings. It's possible that the Never Allow Manual Declaration of Records has been selected. That's not the case here, but that's one thing to check. Let's click Cancel. And now let's check the manual declaration settings for the site collection. I'll go to Site Settings. And I'll look at Record Declaration Settings. And the setting should be available in all locations by default. This is where you can specify that even though it's turned on for your site collection, it may not be available by default in all of your libraries. Now if I look under Declaration Roles, I can see a few options. One is for all list contributors and administrators to be able to declare records. One is for only list administrators. In some cases, this could be the issue if the person trying to declare a record is not an administrator. So permissions is one thing to check. In this case, the issue is that record declaration is restricted to policy actions. So records can only be declared through policy, which is why the button isn't available on this site. The same for undeclaring records. If your Declare Record button is not available or is dimmed, there are a few things you can check. You can check Site Collection Features and make sure that the feature has been activated. You can check the library settings and make sure it's available for that library. And you can also check the site collection settings and check on the permissions, and also check on whether record declaration is restricted to policy only. If I change the setting and click OK, I'll go back and check my library and check library settings. It's set to always allow the manual declaration of records and click OK. Now let's go back to the library. If I click Files and click a document, now the Declare Record button is available.